Hey guys, welcome to the Reparenting Daily podcast, your daily guide for inner child healing. This podcast helps you establish a consistent reparenting routine and is divided into 3 sections. The first is a daily reading, the second is a discussion of that reading followed by suggested journal prompts, and the last section is a peaceful meditation for closing. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from whenever and wherever you're joining us. I'm so glad that you're here as we continue on this journey of self-expansion and growth. If this is your first time, welcome. Now, before we dive in, I have a few quick reminders. Please like, share, and subscribe to this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Your support here helps us spread the word, allowing us to continue to grow this community. Next, I'd like to introduce our Patreon group, where we have 3 weekly meetings. On Sundays, we have a meditation meeting. On Tuesdays, we have book club meeting. And on Thursdays, we have open topic discussions. These meetings take place at 6 p.m. CEST, so Amsterdam, Paris time. For my next announcement, I'd also like to introduce the Reparenting Daily journal, which you can find on Amazon. This journal follows along with the podcast, so each weekly and monthly themes are reflected in the journal. It provides space for you to keep your notes with plenty of extra resources on each topic to be discussed. It's an excellent tool, and if you purchase it, you can join our weekly meetings for free. Just send me an email and we'll get you linked in. For the last announcement, I'd like to introduce one of my most meaningful creative projects, a 3-volume series entitled Fairy Tales for Reparenting. Now, you might be wondering, why fairy tales? Aren't those just for kids? But through my personal healing journey and in studying the work of Carl Jung, Marie-Louise von Franz, and other spiritual and psychological traditions, I've come to see fairy tales as powerful symbolic maps for transformation. They carry deep, timeless wisdom, especially for those of us doing the hard work of reparenting ourselves. The series follows the structure of the hero's journey. Volume 1 explores the wounded child, stories of loss, betrayal, and innocence. Volume 3 is about the trials of endurance, cunning, and self-discovery. And Volume 3 is the return, stories of transformation, power, and wholeness. Each story is followed by journal prompts and space to reflect on how each story connects to your own inner healing journey. These are not just tales, they're tools. They're an invitation to connect with the part of you that still believes in magic and possibility and healing. You'll find both familiar classic and lesser-known stories from cultures around the world, offering you fresh insights and inspiration on your path. All 3 volumes are now available on Amazon. Your support means so much to me, not just for this project, but for the larger mission of helping myself and others reconnect inwardly. Reparenting is like nurturing a bonsai tree. It's not fast, it's not flashy, but with care, patience, and consistency, it will transform you. Thanks so much for being here and for supporting this work, and also for committing on your personal journey of self-expansion. Now, without further ado, let's dive into today's practice. Today, we're continuing with the same article from Very Well Mind, How to Say No to People. Just as a reminder, we're in July, and the theme this month is Establishing Boundaries and Assertiveness. We're in week 2. The theme for this week is learning to say no. We're continuing off with the section, when to say no. When to say no. Knowing when to say no to other people can be helpful. Every situation is different and presents its own challenges, but there are some common settings where you might find yourself struggling to say no. At work. Saying no at work is necessary at times, but it can also come with added pressures. Turning down projects might lead to fears that you will be passed over for promotions or raises, and you might worry that saying no to coworkers will negatively impact your relationships with them. It is important to remember, however, that it's difficult to perform well if you're taking on too much. When you're overworked, it means you're not able to do your best. This can hurt your productivity and the quality of your work. If you're having trouble saying no at work, remind yourself that you need to use your time to do the best possible on these projects. Next, in a relationship, saying no to your partner can be particularly challenging. While you might want to say yes to the things your partner wants and needs, it's important to protect your own needs and interests in a relationship. Sometimes that means setting boundaries and saying no. When you create boundaries, you help your partner get a better understanding of what's important to you. This can help them and know you better, which ultimately strengthens your relationship. Because relationships are about give and take. Saying no to your partner might mean making compromises. For example, you might say no to hanging out with your partner's friends on the weekend, but agree to attend a work event with your partner. Being flexible and willing to compromise allows you to support your partner while still making time for yourself. Next, with friends and family. Saying no to friends and family can be difficult for many people. Sometimes this is because they don't want to disappoint those closest to you. Friends and family are also the ones who know you the best, so they often can phrase their requests in a way that is guaranteed to get a positive response. Because of this, finding ways to set boundaries and say no to friends and family can be especially important. In such cases, simply saying no and standing firm on your ground is often the best strategy. You might opt to tell them why you can't comply with their request, but you also don't owe them an explanation, even if they're family. Instead, state, "No, I'm sorry, but I won't be able to make it," and repeat as needed if they persist. These are the times when it's important to say no, but the situation and people involved can make it even more challenging. Saying no at work, in a relationship, and with friends and family can create conflicting emotions. Finding ways to set boundaries and stick to them can help you resolve. Some signs you should say no to people. If you're struggling deciding whether to turn down a request, ask yourself these questions. Does saying yes to this support my goals? Does this project or request align with my values? Are there challenges that would make saying yes more difficult? Will saying yes to the request prevent me from doing something else that is more important to me? Will saying yes help or hurt my mental well-being? Will yes create more stress or contribute to burnout? If saying yes will take away from the time and energy you need for these things that are important to you, then saying no to the request is probably the best option. Thank you, and that's the reading today. As reparenting adults, we're learning that no is not a rejection. It's a decision rooted in self-respect and clarity. But theory and practice can often collide. Saying no in the real world, at work, with partners, or in families can trigger old emotional wounds of fear, guilt, or being seen as selfish. Especially if you grew up in a home where your needs were ignored or punished, the act of saying no might feel unsafe. Reparenting invites us to retrain our nervous system and redefine our worth, not as someone who is always available and agreeable, but as someone who protects their time, peace, and emotional well-being. You are allowed to say no without explanation. You are allowed to choose yourself even when others don't understand. And each time you do, you're not only setting a healthy boundary, you're giving your inner child a safe, empowering home within you. As we go into the journal prompts today, number 1, in what relationships or settings do I most struggle to say no? And what fear or beliefs keep me from protecting myself? Number 2, what is one recent situation where I said yes, but wish I had said no? What boundary would I like to set next time? And number 3, what does choosing myself look like today? And how can I take one small action to reinforce that choice? That's it for today. As always, thanks for being here. Please do be well. Welcome back. Welcome back. Now, this is the third and final section of the daily podcast. This is your silent meditation. Please go ahead and find a space where you can be comfortable and undisturbed, where you can relax and spend some time with yourself for this 10-minute silent meditation. You can choose to be sitting, standing, lying down, or in whatever position makes you comfortable today. Take a moment to simply be with yourself. Focus on your breath and gently connect with each part of your body. If thoughts arise, don't let them overwhelm you. Just observe them without attachment. Imagine them as leaves drifting down atop a river, passing by without needing your engagement. Stay present, grounded, and open to this moment, no matter what time you are listening and practicing this meditation. Namaste.